Denji is lost in a dream, wandering through a dark back alley. Suddenly, he spots a door and reaches for it. But before he can open it, he wakes up and heads to work for the Yakuza. As he walks, he mentally calculates how much money he's made from cutting trees, selling his kidney, right eye, and one of his nuts. It's not enough to cover his debts, but then he hears Pochita barking. Denji senses a devil nearby and gets excited at the prospect of earning good money. He spots a tomato devil and, using Pochita as a chainsaw, manages to kill it. The old man who hired him is impressed and offers him 400,000 yen. Denji can't believe his luck, but his excitement is short-lived when the old man deducts various fees and interest, leaving him with only 70,000 yen. Desperately needing the money, Denji uses it to pay his bills and other debts, but he's left with just 1,800 yen. The old man's driver wonders why they would hire someone like Denji. The old man reveals that Denji is paying off his father's debts, and that the real devil hunters won't sell them the devil carcass. Denji is doing what he's told, but it's clear that he's being exploited. The driver offers Denji 100 yen if he eats his cigarette, and Denji gladly accepts. However, as soon as they leave, he spits it out. Denji is sitting at home, munching on a piece of bread. He remarks to Pochita that he's heard people put jam on their bread, but that seems like a distant dream to him. He reflects on his miserable life, realizing that he's unlikely to ever pay off his debts or find a girlfriend. He remembers standing in front of his father's grave with the old man, who berated his dead father for killing himself before repaying his debts. The old man gave Denji an ultimatum: gather 700,000 yen by tomorrow, or face a gruesome death. As the old man leaves, Denji spots a devil wielding a chainsaw. Feeling hopeless and resigned to his fate, Denji is willing to let the devil kill him. But then he notices the devil is bleeding, so he offers up his blood. As Pochita bites his arm, Denji declares that Pochita owes him for saving his life and that he needs Pochita's help. The next day, Denji manages to kill a devil and presents its carcass to the old man. He convinces the old man to hire him as a devil hunter, offering to work off his debt that way. The old man reluctantly agrees, and Denji starts his new job with Pochita by his side. Denji is tossing and turning, unable to sleep due to his hunger. He confides in Pochita that he's been dreaming of a warm loaf of bread with sweet, sticky jam, and spending time with a girl. In his dream, they play games together and eventually fall asleep in each other's arms. However, his peaceful reverie is interrupted when he starts coughing up blood. As Denji struggles to catch his breath, he confides in Pochita that he is worried about his mother, who also suffered from a heart condition and coughed up blood. But before he can dwell on his fears for too long, an old man arrives and summons him for devil hunting work. Denji and the old man travel to an abandoned factory, but Denji is unable to detect any signs of devil activity. The old man expresses his gratitude for Denji's unwavering loyalty, comparing him to a faithful dog. However, he can't stand the stench that emanates from Denji. Suddenly, Denji and Pochita are attacked from behind by a mysterious man with a sword. The man reveals that even the Yakuza are willing to make deals with devils in order to gain more power and wealth. They made a deal with the devil. In exchange for power, they have become slaves to the zombie devil, who has the power to turn them into zombies. The zombie devil despises devil hunters, who he sees as a threat to his kind, and orders his zombie army to kill Denji, a devil hunter. In a brutal and violent sequence, Denji attempts to flee, but the zombies catch up to him, stabbing and chopping him into pieces. In the aftermath of the attack, Denji's remains are thrown into a dumpster with Pochita, and some of his blood enters Pochita's mouth, awakening the sleeping devil. Pochita remembers the time he spent with Denji cutting trees, and Denji's fears of dying and leaving Pochita alone, or being killed by other devil hunters. Denji even suggested that if it was possible, Pochita should take over his body, so that Denji could live a normal life and die a peaceful death. In the dumpster, Pochita fuses with Denji, healing his wounds and reviving him. Denji awakens, wondering if Pochita has taken over his body. Pochita explains that he was moved by Denji's dreams and decides to give him his heart, asking only that Denji show him his dreams in return. As Denji awakens and sees Pochita's tail coming out of his chest, the zombie devil is surprised and orders his zombies to eat him. Denji realizes that he, too, may have been like the Yakuza, always wanting more and never being satisfied. However, he knows that if anyone stands in his way, they will die. Denji is surrounded by a horde of zombies. With no escape in sight, he pulls a cord from his chest and transforms, his arms and head turning into chainsaws. He starts chopping through the zombies with ease, but then the zombie devil appears. Denji jumps on him, slicing him up as he tries to fight back. The zombie devil tries to throw zombies at Denji, but he keeps cutting them down. Denji finally lands a fatal blow on the zombie devil, slicing him in half. He then turns his attention to the remaining zombies, noting that they had hired him to kill devils. He takes them out one by one, declaring that he won't owe them any money once they're all gone. Later that morning, Makima and two men arrive at the abandoned factory where the battle took place. They find Denji amidst the carnage and Makima approaches him, noting his strange smell. She realizes that he's neither human nor devil, and asks if he's responsible for the bloodbath. Denji asks to be hugged, and Makima obliges. As she embraces him, he reverts to his human form. Makima explains that she's a devil hunter with public safety, and that she came to kill the zombie devil. She gives Denji two options, to be killed as a devil, or to be kept as a human under her care. She promises to make sure he's fed if he chooses the latter. Denji asks what he'll be given for breakfast, and Miriam replies that he'll get bread with butter and jam, salad, coffee, and maybe some dessert. Denji is delighted and agrees to Makima's offer. And with that, we conclude this episode.